How do we get cash from internal means into your business from people who are owing us money? This would be our accounts receivables. Now, this is probably the most important single thing that has to happen in your company after a acquisition. You know, it's one thing to have a sale, and a lot of business today, of course, is done on credit cards, and that really helps with cash flow. But a lot of times you do have people on open credit lines, and when you really get customers and they tend to buy a lot from you, there is a tendency not to want to push them to pay, because you're always afraid, like, you know, if you push them too hard to collect your money, maybe they'll not buy from you, maybe they'll go to a competitor. So when you're running a business, there is this tendency to relax on collections, and then when finally the person doesn't pay, and it's 90 days, 120 days, or 180 days old, you know, at that point people get upset in business, and the next thing you know, they'll turn over to a collection agency, and the collection agency sends out a few threatening letters. The money still doesn't come in, and now, you know, you've alienated the customer. So there is a much better process, and it's going to come down to a few choice power phrases, but it's also going to come down to an attitude within you about your account receivables. A lot of times people don't want to collect them because they're afraid to ask for money. They're always afraid, like, if they ask for the money, their customers are not going to like them anymore. So here's an idea of how we correct all that. We encourage our clients to collect their money. And first of all, you always have to assume that the person who didn't pay you and they didn't pay you on time, they have a good reason for this. That first of all, they're great people, and they would probably pay you, but they got other priorities or other things that are pressing them for money. So you've got to make sure that you're in the queue and that you're approaching them in a way that is positive, upbeat, and credits them for wanting to pay you, so that when you're communicating with them, number one, you're communicating with them in a way that's complimentary to them, and when people are approached in a way that's complimentary to them, then the moral burden shifts, because now they want to keep you happy about them, and they want to keep you thinking good about them. So when you come from that side of things, things work out a little better. Well, a lot better. So let's say, for example, you've got a situation where you delivered something to somebody. They give you a check, and you get back and the check bounces. So right now, if you call up that person and you're aggravated with this person, what happens is they get defensive, and all of a sudden the relationship is antagonistic, and your chances of collecting or collection quickly go down dramatically. But on the other hand, when you call up that person, if you always assume that the person on the other side is a good person, and they didn't mean to create a problem, and they will gladly pay, but they have a unique set of circumstances that will change. So if that's your mindset, then you're going to be very different with that person than if you think that they're a bad person because their check bounced. So the way in which we learn how to handle those kinds of transactions is we call them up, and we will say something along the lines of, you know, Mr. Jones, we went to cash your check, and we found that the check wasn't good, and the chances are very good that when you wrote the check, you had every intention of paying this. So we assume something came up that caused the check to bounce. Is there anything that we can do to help you get that corrected so that you can return a check to us as a good check? So all right, now the place that I'm coming from, you see, it's not that they're a bad person, but they're a good person, and they want to make it good, and I'm going to help them make it good. So now if they say to me something like, oh gosh, you know, yeah, I had another check come in, and that I wasn't counting on it, and it overdrew my account, so the account, you know, blah blah blah. Now, there's always going to be a reason that they give you. So then you say, this is fine. When do you expect your account to be back to positive again? And then they'll give you some answers, and sometimes it's going to be quickly and sometimes it's going to take a little time. Well, so then you start with, okay, well, if we set it up for a payment plan over the next 2 or 3 weeks, where each week you send me a check for a certain amount that you know you can cover, is that okay? So in other words, you're getting to this place of working with them and always treating them as a person wanting to make the payment right. If you come from that place, you change dramatically the percentage of recovery you can make, and you speed up dramatically the amount of your ability to get these amounts collected.